Yeah, I sure was nervous. I really wanted to make a good impression.
How old were you, Bill?
I had just turned 16. I remember it like it was yesterday. My dad had given me lots of advice, so I thought I was ready. I had planned everything very carefully. You know, what I was going to wear, where we were going to go, a really nice Italian restaurant that I thought would be romantic. I even planned what I thought we would talk about.
It sounds like you were really prepared.
Well, I wasn't. It was an absolute disaster. I couldn't even open my mouth to speak.
Oh no, but I bet she was nervous too.
Yeah, I guess so. Especially after I spilled my orange soda all over her.
Oh dear. Well, accidents can happen. I assume the food was good.
Not exactly.
How come?
Well, after I spilled the soda, I stood up to help her, and I knocked our pizza over.
Onto the floor?
No, not exactly. Onto her lap.
2.
Do you remember what it was like, Mi Young?
Oh yeah, I was pretty nervous because I didn't know anyone else there, and I found everything a bit confusing. And it didn't help that the place was so huge, and I got lost trying to find where I was supposed to go. I wasn't used to studying in the United States, and the classes I was taking were very different. So yeah, it was difficult.
That's probably because it was all new. But you settled in after a while, right?
Yeah. Luckily, I found someone else who seemed to be lost too. A guy who was taking some of the same classes. So we sort of stuck together and helped each other out, and we became good friends.
That's nice. I assume you're still friends with him today?
I sure am. I married him.
3. Did you do a lot of preparation, Jeremy?
I sure did. Well, it was my first time, after all. I really prepared myself. You know, practicing the sorts of things I wanted to say about myself, what I thought my strengths were, and the sort of contribution I thought I could make. Things like that.
You must have been more than ready for it. And how many people were there?
Well, I thought I would be speaking to 6 people, but it turned out there were only 2 of them. They were quite friendly and informal and made me feel pretty relaxed, so I think I made a good impression.
I assume it went well.
Yeah, it did, at first. But then they started asking me questions that I didn't understand at all.
Probably because you weren't very experienced.
No, that wasn't it. It turned out that I had gone to the wrong floor of the building.
4.
Were you excited, Alice?
I guess so. I wasn't sure what to expect, but they explained what I had to do, and I found it pretty easy.
It sounds like a good start. What were the people like?
They were really nice. I felt like I was part of a team, and they really did their best to make me feel like part of the group. Except one guy.
Oh? What did he do?
Well, apparently he wanted my job, so he was really jealous when I got it. You know what he did?
No, what?
He told everyone I was the boss's niece, so they weren't as relaxed with me anymore.
Oh, but you aren't, are you? His niece, I mean.
No, I'm not. I'm his daughter.
I've just been doing research about an organization that gives poor people small loans so they can start their own businesses.
That's interesting. What's the organization called?
It's called Enterprise Development.
So how does the program work?
Well, let me tell you about this woman named Veronica. She lives in a poor area in Manila, in the Philippines. People in her neighborhood live in small huts and run-down houses. Her husband is a construction worker, but he doesn't always get work, and they have 2 children.
That must be difficult.
Yeah. Veronica tried selling food she made, but she could only earn about $60 a week. Then, one day, someone told her about enterprise development and how they give small loans to poor people so they can start their own businesses. Veronica got her first loan of $350.
That must have been exciting. So, what did she do with it?
She built a window in the front of her home so she could pass food to people outside. Then she filled up part of her house with convenience store items. So now she has a corner grocery store in her home.
Wow. So, I assume it's really successful.
Yeah, she soon paid off her first loan. Then she got a bigger one and used the money to buy a wider range of products to sell. Then she got a third loan, and with that she bought a small refrigerator. That made it possible for her to sell cans of cold soda. After 18 months, her business was making about $160 a week, nearly 3 times what she was making before.
That's terrific. It sounds like the program really changed her life.
Absolutely.
I found it pretty easy.
It sounds like a good start.
I really prepared myself.
You must have been more than ready for it. So, yeah, it was difficult.
That's probably because it was all new.
I think I made a good impression.
I assume it went well.
I'll always remember my graduation day because everyone in my family was there.
That must have meant a lot to you.
2.
My first day at work was really a nightmare.
I assume it got easier after the first day.
3.
I couldn't believe the gift my parents gave me for my 18th birthday.
I assume they bought you a car.
4.
I remember the day I got my first paycheck.
You must have gone out and spent it all.
5.
I'll never forget my first airplane flight.
That's probably because you were so nervous.
6.
I asked my girlfriend to marry me.
It sounds like you're ready to settle down.